Get ready for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 with the complete rundown of Sonic's story so far.
Gotta go fast!
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, a blue hedgehog named Sonic was really fast at running. You might even say his speed was supersonic. However, he isn't fast enough to evade an echidna tribe, so Sonic's guardian Longclaw, who's an owl with long claws, gives him 5 golden rings. I'm just kidding, there's way more than that. There's enough to make Golem faint. Anyway, these rings create portals, which Sonic uses to teleport to Earth while Longclaw holds off the echidnas.
Goodbye, Sonic.
10 years later, Sonic is 10 years older. In fact, everyone is 10 years older, because that's how time works. He's living in Green Hills, Montana, which is a rural town in Montana with green hills, and even some brown rocky ones. But they got left out during the naming process.
Sorry.
Sonic longs for having friends, particularly ones who enjoy the movie Speed, starring Keanu Reeves, who has really great vocal cords that would work perfectly as the voice of, I don't know, Shadow, if they ever decide to include that character in a future film. However, despite Sonic wanting friends, he doesn't really need any. I mean, he can have a game of ping pong against himself, skip rope without any assistance, and play baseball without any other players. But it's during this baseball game where his speed reaches a new level, triggering an electromagnetic pulse which causes a power outage across a large part of the country. To fix this, the government brings in a roboticist, Dr. Robotnik, who seems like he only chose that career because of his name.
Have you finished Charlotte's Web yet? Spoiler alert, she dies in the end, but she leaves a big creepy egg sack.
Fearing his cover is blown, Sonic plans to portal jump to another planet, but before he can, local Sheriff Tom finds him in his shed. Sonic pretends to be a cat, but Tom ain't buying it and tranquilizes him. If Sonic had been wearing a red and white hat, that may have deceived him. As the trank takes effect, Sonic accidentally opens a portal to San Francisco, dropping the rest of his rings through. Upon waking up, Tom agrees to drive Sonic to get the rings in his car that has a top speed of around 220 kilometers an hour, which isn't even like 1% of Sonic's pace. Luckily, he can't read a map, or this would be a 20-minute movie. So they have a road trip across the country, making a few pit stops along the way to fill out that runtime, like reenacting Toy Story, reenacting the Hannah Montana movie, and reenacting X-Men Days of Future Past. Dr. Robotnik's investigation has managed to track down Sonic, where they have a Boom Boom Explosion Bang car chase, with Robotnik showing off his gadgets and Sonic showing off his dance moves. Unfortunately for the latter, Explosives defeats Flossing and gets injured, so Robotnik shows off his dance moves in celebration. Though I don't know why he's celebrating, because Tom and Sonic have gotten away and have made it to the Legend of the 100 Rings at the top of a tall building in San Francisco. But before Sonic can leave through a portal, Robotnik is back to finish what he started. So another battle ensues, with the scientists firing all the missiles which Sonic uses to play the drums with before speedrunning through every iconic landmark across the globe, being closely followed behind by Robotnik, who's used one of Sonic's quills to enhance his ship's speed.
Excusez-moi, monsieur.
This ultimately culminates back in Green Hills, where the power of friendship from Tom gives Sonic enough energy to destroy Robotnik's hovercraft and send him through a portal into another dimension. After the many great memories Sonic has recently made, he decides to stay on Earth and is offered to live with Tom and his wife Maddie.
I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it!
The government decides to erase all evidence of the movie, and Robotnik, who's now living in Mario's nightmare with a shaved head, grown out mustache, and a foreshadowing device to set up the sequel. But he's not the only one hoping for a second film. So is Tails, who is a fox with more than one tail. And those mid-credit scenes are about to pay off, because the blue hedgehog is back, and so is Dr. Robotnik from the Mushroom Kingdom, thanks to the help from Knuckles, who's a red echidna with knuckles. He's after the Master Emerald that grants ultimate power, which the echidna intends on using to honor his ancestors, while Robotnik wants it to be evil. Knuckles believes Sonic is the key to finding it, so he attacks him in a battle which the hedgehog is outmatched in.
It is my destiny to do what my ancestors could not.
Luckily, he's saved by the fox with two tails, who's here to warn Sonic about Knuckles with the knowledge Sonic just learnt while fighting Knuckles. They also learn that Longclaw's sacred duty was to protect the Emerald, and now that great responsibility is thrust upon Sonic to go with his already great power. So Blue and Orange work together to track it down, following a map given to Sonic by his guardian owl. But Knuckles and Robotnik are hot on their heels, so they only have enough time for a 3.5-minute dance scene before the red team catches up with Sonic and Tails. It's here where Knuckles reveals he lost his echidna tribe the same day Sonic lost Longclaw. Maybe this empathy for each other will come back later in the movie, but for now, Sonic and Tails have to evade an avalanche. Good thing the Hedgehog has excellent reception on his phone and is able to contact Tom, who's at his sister-in-law's wedding in Hawaii, and tells him to use the teleporter ring he gave to him to teleport him out of the danger. But as they ruin the wedding, it's revealed that all the guests are undercover agents who capture Sonic and Tails and arrest Tom before being immediately uncaptured and unarrested by Maddie.
How'd you get past the guards?
Because that little fox is in some crazy stuff.
Meanwhile, Robotnik and Knuckles find the Master Emerald in a temple that beams a giant green skybeam into the sky, breaking from the movie trope of a blue skybeam. Tails is too injured from the avalanche, so Sonic goes alone. But he's too late. Robotnik has seized control of the green rock, leaving his partner behind as the temple begins to drown. And the building isn't the only thing drowning, so is Knuckles. Despite Knuckles trying to kill Sonic on many occasions, the blue hedgehog decides to save him, because remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
Because being a hero isn't about taking care of yourself. It's about taking responsibility for other people.
After saving his life, Knuckles is eternally grateful and decides to team up with Sonic and Tails to stop Dr. Robotnik, who's used the Emerald's power to create a giant robot. Nick. But the power of the mech isn't enough to defeat the power of friendship or the power of the Master Emerald that breaks into 7 Infinity Stones, which Sonic uses to snap Robotnik away. Evil has been defeated and peace is restored. Oh no, there's another threat. It's a shadow. Sonic, Tails and Knuckles pass a junkyard site, where one of Robotnik's still active droids gives them a fright. It attacks them, so the friends use the power of thirds, but when their fists don't work, they instead use their words. The robot is reformed and goes home with the three, but not before Knuckles returns his books to the local library. Tails is enjoying new life in Green Hills, but Knuckles is the one struggling to adjust, which is why he got the spin-off, because it sounds more interesting.
I have no idea what that means.
The Echidna finds out about a bowling competition and wants to win, so teams up with Deputy Sheriff Wade, only for Knuckles to be captured by the Guardian Units of Nations, which is an organisation who seem to have come up with the acronym of GUN, then figured out what those letters stood for later. They want him to sell to a mystery buyer, so Wade suits up, steps out of his vintage sports car, hits play on Bonnie Tyler's Holding Out for a Hero, then Home Alone's the agents before rescuing Knuckles. In his dream. In reality, he just went with his casual clothes, steps out of his sheriff vehicle, accidentally hits play on Paula Cole's I Don't Wanna Wait, then Home Alone's himself. But he's able to get the power of Home Alone back on his side to defeat the agents, break Knuckles free, reenact another old movie, before the Echidna does a superhero landing, while Wade does a super smelly landing.
Get up!
With the agents putting a bounty on Wade's head, a reward for his capture, not the chocolate bar, they hide out at his childhood home with his mum and sister. However, their hiding spot has been tracked down by bounty hunters with fun hairstyles. One has a rat tail, another wears a sweatband, he has a beanie on, and this one's got a pretty standard trim to be fair. Looks like short back and sides. Knuckles and Wade's family, but mostly Knuckles, defend themselves to defeat all the bounty hunters. Oh, there's another one. Wade's former bowling partner, Jack, kidnaps him for the dollar he doos.
The treasures one finds on Facebook Marketplace.
Wade dreams he's in a musical with low-budget costumes, so they don't have to spend CGI money on Knuckles for this episode. Then this rock opera gives Wade the power to break free of his cage, before he and the show's title character continue on to the bowling tournament. There, Wade makes it to the final against his father of all people, so he sells out Wade's sister and mother to those agents to keep him out of the tournament.
Just like when you abandoned me at that TJ Maxx. Except this is 1,000,000,000 times worse.
With his family's life at stake, Wade lures Knuckles into a trap. Just kidding, it was all part of the plan.
You messed with the wrong warrior.
Time for a boom boom explosion bang. Take it away, Elton. Alright, that's enough, I don't want to get demonetized. Knuckles defeats the agents, Wade frees his family, wins the bowling tournament, and we have a happy ending. Oh wait, that bite from earlier. He drains Knuckles of his powers before Knuckles pretty much immediately reabsorbs them, then he and Wade defeat the evil together before doing a jumping high five freeze frame without the high five part.
We did it.
And now you're all caught up and ready to see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. You're welcome! Let me know in the comments what your favourite Sonic movie, show or game is. And don't forget to absolutely obliterate that like, subscribe and share button. I'm just kidding. Only do it with enough force that it registers. I don't want any of you breaking whatever device you're watching this on.